Hello and welcome back to the workshop. So following on from last time, it's a case of continuing the dry assembly to make sure that everything's working well, adjusting the position of the mortises from last week. That's gone well, and all of the slots now line up, only to discover what a blunder that is. Hopefully, but I doubt it, that's going to be repeated on all of them. But at least the panels are the right width, even if they're not the right length. Oh, I can't believe I've done this one. But anyway, that one's gone together nicely, and all of the mortise and tenons are meeting nicely. That side rail has gone in very nicely, and let me do the other, because this is this one side of the smaller of the two cupboards. So let me just see how this one fits together. Yep. This one isn't so bad by way of length, but I cannot believe I've made such an error. Oh well. My only consolation on that is that they won't be seen, because if I put that like that, just balance that there a minute, and that like that. So this is cupboard one, which is the left hand cupboard, and so cupboard number two will be here. So this panel, and because all of the panels are the same size, these two panels will not be seen unless, except when you open the door wide and peer up. This panel will have a shelf butting up to it here because of the layout of our kitchen, and it will have other things here. The only one that is going to be seen will be this corresponding one on this cupboard. So right, those are those two frames put together nicely. Let me just put those to one side. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, I cut these two down together as a pair. I've got to chop a little bit more off that one. The next step is to try the other longer rails for fit, because I might need to adjust the sizes of the mortises here and in the middle here. So let's have a look. Because that has got the similar problem as the ones for the side panels, in that there is on some of them a little lip on the shoulder. So now that one will go there. I think I've got the wrong piece there. Now that one will go on here. That one's going to go there. Now this is throwing up several anomalies. Again, it comes back to my mismeasuring and miscutting. I'll come to that in a minute, but let's try this one first. Well, that one's gone in nicely. on both of these. I've miscut again. This tenon needs just tidying up a little bit, but if I use the square and just square that off like that, you'll see what you saw what happened to that tenon. That is nice and square. That's nice and square. But I've got that huge gap there. So, and it's the same on that one. So I've totally misjudged where I needed to cut that and how long. But I'm glad this is showing up now. Right. So that tenon needs trimming a little bit on its length. Those do. That has a little shoulder on it. This one's fine. And then those two middle rails. Although, just looking at that is quite a slope, so that needs turning round. Or no, that one doesn't, because that's got its top lip. This one needs turning round. Wow, that's now square there, that's square, but again, what have I done? Because those should be parallel. And that is out by quite a way. Right, leave that as it is. Let me get another panel. Nope, that one wants to go that way. That tenon needs to be cut down the side slightly, as does that. I'm going to have to treat these as totally separate. So, let me mark up what needs trimming. So it's that tenon needs a bit off its length. Yep. That is going into each hole. That's into H. This one is into H. And there is a little bit of a lip there, so if I just mark that. Then this one, the length is all right. This one is into F. That needs to come off like that. I'll just take this shade off there. I'll take a shade off there as well, and that's into F. Right. that's those. Let me have a look at the second panel. Right, cupboard number 2. The same problem with these middle uprights. I just haven't cut them long enough. The tenons seem to have gone in relatively well. This one needs trimming quite a lot at the bottom. That one a little, but these two have gone in very nicely. So I just cannot think what I've done or why I've done that. So this is D. Right. Pencil. So here, this is cupboard 1, but the principle will be the same for both cupboards. The overall height is 740. The rear top rail is 100 and the bottom is 50. So 740, 640, 590 plus 20 is 610, 630. Right. And that is 630. $630, and for the front upright, because that's 50, so 740 less 100 is 640, and then 660, 680. $675, close enough, but they are at least 20mm different in reality, and I'm not sure why. It could be, but that's 46. That's only a difference of 8mm. So why am I 20 out? I have not got a clue. So the next question has to be, I need these two uprights on both cupboards. So I need 4 pieces of timber. Okay, now those are the 4 uprights for the middle of the 2 boxes. those are 3 styles that I'd overcut. These need to be extended. Those are the only pieces that I've got at the moment that are free. So I've got a choice. Those are the 2 longer uprights. I could cannibalise those 2 for the new middles, and then just cut another tenon on each. That's one alternative. I could use 2 of those but then I run into extending into the old mortises. So what I'm going to do, I think, before I make any decisions, is these are the pieces that just need trimming. I'm going to trim these with the tenons, square them off, get rid of some of the shoulders. Then I'm going to dry assemble the carcasses and actually measure how big the pieces need to be. Now I'm not going to be able to do that this afternoon, but I can get on with that next week and then make decisions about which pieces I use where. It might be a case of seeing those are the only pieces of oak that I've got, and even that one, it's got a big chunk out of a knot that I could fill, but I'll see. At least I've got enough timber to make the 2 rear uprights. So as I say, I'm just going to trim those and then arrange myself for next week. And while I'm in the process of just trimming things down, a couple of things. The hold down that I created, the 2 cams are capable of working with the 19mm T-track or the 9, and I had taken some of the T-track out so I could use the adapters for the 19. But if you remember from last time, I had to turn things around because I didn't have enough length. I've realised I can take those off, and then I can just use the 9mm and I can use the thinner track. So I can put all of this back because then I can just slot the bolts into here. But a comment from my neighbour Tim from last week's video, he liked using the face here to guide the chisel, but little point he made, I need to keep the cams on here like that, because if I have them going down the side, he says I then lose a lot of the strength and it will loosen. So thanks, Tim. Right, I've just got a couple of these to do. And there was just one last thing I needed to do for today, and that was check that the stiles and rails fitted with the panels. And I seem to have made a right bodge of all of the panels. This is the worst one. It's not quite wide enough. A couple of the tenons need trimming off a little bit, so I might be able to salvage something there, but every single one of them is too short. So this is going to be an easier cure, I think, in that I can just reduce the length of the stiles, make them slightly shorter doors, and I don't think that will be too noticeable. The biggest problem I've got is the length of the panels overall. I haven't a clue where those mistakes came. I'll have to have a good look at the drawings and see if I can figure out what happened where. But anyway, so that's for next week. Adjusting the size of these stiles, it will mean recutting the mortises a little bit, but again we'll come to that at another time. So all in all, I've made a right bodge of this job so far, but that's where I am learning, I hope, to see these problems and make double certain before I cut any timber. But anyway, thanks for coming along with me on this journey, and I'll see you next time.